Fucking. Hello, and welcome to episode 53 of FPL Apprentice, still the only podcast in series that delves into the mind of one of the greatest players to ever play the game. If you go on FPL Tools, all-time greatest list, you don't have to scroll down far to get him. He's a former world number one. It is, of course, Matt Corbs. Matt, 3 questions for you. Number 1, how the devil are you? Number 2, what do you think of the new theme tune? And number 3, what happened to the Tash?
Oh, mate, 3 questions. I'm going to do well if I remember them all. Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Yourself?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad for a Monday. And I've got Aina playing in today's game, so desperate for a clean sheet.
Yeah, what could it been? It could have been my Eze versus your Aina, but hey, we'll talk about moves. We'll talk about moves. But yeah, I feel good. FPL wise, pretty good as well. I know, like last week, in the midst of international break, I think both of us were feeling not very energized, but I'm enjoying it again. So that's what 3 transfers can do for you. But yeah, I'm very good. Theme tune, spot on. So I think you've smashed that out.
Well, on that, big call out to my friend Paul Rimmer. He came up trumps. We called out to the audience to give us a new theme tune, and he came storming. So thank you, Rimmer. Thomas Jones has been in touch. Howdy, Tom. It's I don't know why I keep calling you Tom. I know it's Thomas. I apologize, Thomas. But howdy. Hope you're well. He has put already, Matt. What a cracking set of transfers this week you had that you've already touched on. So we'll come on to that when we go on to your team. The important question, the Tash.
Let's go back on the theme tune. So why did we have to get? Were you in copyright breach from the old one?
I wasn't copyright. YouTube kept pulling me up constantly about copyright. So as long as Rimmer doesn't sue us, we should be okay.
Oh my good stuff. The mistake that just literally happened just half hour ago.
All right. Looking fresh for the live audience.
Kind of wind up Nicole, my girlfriend, just around. It's needed for a Halloween outfit idea we've got. So
okay. And then is it back straight on to? It's Movember, isn't it? Straight after Halloween.
So good excuse, but as you know, it took me a long time to get there, so I probably need more than a November to get back to that pitiful level of hair there. But it was a spirit of the moment. But yeah, linked to a Halloween outfit.
I think we need to know what the Halloween outfit is.
Menendez brothers.
Ah, nice.
We're gonna wear some.
You're desperate to make this.
Wear some Ralph Lauren polos. They'll get some nice pastel colors.
Yeah, you're desperate to make this a podcast just about that. I saw you were trying last week, but hey, I do like it. I'll
try again. That's your task this week. Watch it and come back with your feedback. Okay. You can stretch it out longer.
Next week, I'll let you know. Arwen's joined us in the chat. How are you, Arwen? Hope you are well. Thanks for joining us. But Thomas is also telling Tom Jones jokes in the chat, by the way. He's put, because I keep calling him Tom when I know it's Thomas. Don't worry, it's not unusual. Do like a dad joke. Keep them up. But we will jump on to game week 8 and let you go first, because the transfers have done you well. Now I did, and I'm sorry to say it, Matt, I did bring this up pre-news that Son's assist is getting taken off him. So I think he's going to drop down by 4 points, maybe with a bonus drop. So, but still, 37. Your transfers were definitely positive.
Is that where I throw my toys out the pram? Saying it's outrageous and whatnot. I think kind of like whatever it is, when you have a positive kind of like move like that, someone would have been very generous if he got that assist. However, I would say there's been other assists along those lines that have been given like in the past and this season. I think Watkins had a bit of a dodgy one earlier this season, but I think the weird thing there was it was like marked down by Opta as a Areola own goal, right? So yeah, being very generous if it was given an assist, but it was kind of weird, wasn't it? Just the whole debate where it was like the official FPL account was publishing like justifications as to why it gave an assist after the match, and then has backtracked on that. So yeah, it's all pretty bizarre. But like, I think for assists, like I think I'd probably scrap FPL assists completely if they're not registered in a pure sense by Opta. I'd get rid of it. None of this like deflection nonsense. Like I think it's really subjective, regardless of regardless of the incident. Because I think even this game week, I think Bowen had one of the West Ham's goals was like a clear Bowen assist, right, based on the definitions, but wasn't given. So it's always like a grey area. I think Solly March this one, right? Do you remember that one?
Solly March. I do remember Solly March. Yeah, and I had him as captain that week. Would you keep the if you win the penalty, you get an assist?
Yeah, I think that's clear. That's clear. I mean, there are some. I do. I think it's more the deflections and when it's like, hey, is this an intended shot that gets to its target and stuff like that? I think I'd probably just remove that so there's no like ambiguity. But I'll talk about my moves, right? So yeah, like I went into the game week with three transfers, which is like obviously kind of like pretty fun. Also when we were talking a week ago, I was kind of like we spoke about Saka and Diaz replacement options given like the uncertainty of their minutes. And we could debated the options and no one was screaming out in that immediate price bracket, right? And I think we were jokingly saying if Saka was injured, it would unlock Palmer. But we were talking about the Spurs boys winning Maddison, who, spoiler, you went for. And we were talking about Brennan Johnson. We were talking about Eze. Son being announced fit in the press conferences changed it a little bit because I kind of wanted to. I think Spurs had objectively the best fixtures the next 4 or 5 game weeks, but I couldn't really get excited by Johnson and Maddison. Son, I can get excited by. And I think I kind of shared you like just when I was like tinkering away on Saturday morning. I texted you at 9 in the morning just saying, I quite like this option of Son, Foden, Lewis in for Saliba, Saka, and Diaz, and that was just around uncertainty of minutes for Saka and Diaz, and then like the Lewis thing was just like it was just kind of convenient, like a convenient price point to kind of like get in there. So, was it a good move? Obviously, like it's kind of weird how things work. Foden doesn't look great, but we'll see. Against Southampton, he obviously got the assist, but was very lucky with that. Sensible move would have just gone for Son. But if I didn't do that, I would have it's weird how these moves have knock-on effects, right? I only brought in Lewis because he funded Foden as well. And like if I didn't do that Foden move, I would have started Saliba for -3 points, right? So it's funny how these things work out. So that was like complete luck. Kind of really, I just got rid of Saliba purely to.
You've had enough bad luck
purely to fund in.
Yeah,
exactly. So, bringing in Foden was a bit of a punt. We'll see what happens. I think a sensible approach would have been Bruno or Eze. So we'll see what happens with Eze tonight. I think he would have been the sound one. But I was kind of surprised. He's a minute's risk, of course, given he's started one game the whole year. But I was kind of shocked that he didn't play against Bournemouth. In a good way, City were quite shocking, even when he came on. But I guess that suggests that there could be an impetus to kind of shake things up a little bit. But Son, Foden, Lewis, that's a kind of big net gain versus Saka, Diaz. Diaz didn't start, of course. That was a little bit risky. And Saliba got a red card, so you can't really make that up in terms of that timing. So got to be happy with it. I mean, going through the rest of my team, Flecken looking pretty good by all the amount of points he scored versus a lot of keepers. He just kind of racked up, despite conceding 2 goals, racked up 10 saves or something like that, right? So that's the benefit of getting these 4.5 keepers that are mass saves. So like Flecken, I don't think has kept the clean sheet at all, but he's keeping pace with a lot of the keepers purely through save points, right? So hopefully with some easier fixtures like Ipswich next week on the horizon, you'll get some clean sheets as well. But yeah, obviously kind of very happy with Flecken. Trent Gabriel obviously blanked as did Lewis. But I think outside of Everton, I can't remember any clean sheets this
not off the top of my head.
weekend.
Until Forest keep one this evening, of course.
No, they could well, right? So yeah, I think it was all of those had like bar Lewis, all of them had tough matchups. So it's not entirely surprising that they conceded. I think Trent was good defensively. He didn't do anything from an attacking point of view, but he was good defensively. And yeah, maybe Chelsea were lucky to kind of like score. And then obviously midfield, and Mbumo blanked, which is actually quite surprising. Foden didn't start and got like his assist from a fortunate corner at the end. Yeah, I mean, it's not like I got rid of a player who was starting and doing amazing, and like there is another international break coming, and Liverpool's schedule and fixtures is tough and packed. So like, if Diaz started, I'd be very annoyed at myself. But kind of getting Foden is a bit of a punt. I got lucky with an assist. Next week is the big one, Southampton at home, right? So we'll kind of see what happens there. But in a good way, I don't love any of the other midfielders in that bracket either, right? I'm talking about Eze. I'm talking about Fernandez. They're not like must-have, must-own players, right? So I think it was an okay call to make that risk, given there was no one like screaming out. Rodgers looking good, like his underlying stats were actually good for a change. He is getting a few cards here and there, so that kind of diminishes his chance to get bonus points. But got to be happy with such a cheap player playing for a really good team, looking more involved now the last couple of game weeks as well. So that's kind of really cool. Son, what will he be on now? He'll be on 8 points.
He loses 4. I think he loses 4. So 8.
Yeah, he'll be on 8 points. So relatively speaking, this week that's a good return this week, given everyone's numbers are pretty kind of low. But he looked good, and Spurs' attack is looking good. I want to talk about my strikers now, which is a problem. So Solanke is almost playing as like this deep lying playmaker. Like he's playing like Harry Kane's playing for Spurs a few years ago. He's playing like Firmino, right, for Liverpool, right? So he's linking up really well, but he's not in the box where you'd want and expect him to be. So yeah, Solanke. I'm not too worried because this is the first game week where his underlying stats were absolutely shit. Like previous game weeks, he wasn't getting the returns, but was getting in the positions and having the underlying stats. But he's been a disappointment, really. Like I'm kind of very, very surprised. Obviously, Spurs have some nice fixtures coming up as well, but that's a disappointment, right? That their striker has not got any attacking returns in a 4-goal kind of victory. And same goes like Calvert-Lewin. I'm not worried about him, and his fixtures are kind of really green moving forward the next 5 game weeks or whatnot. But he's been frustrating to kind of own. I think he missed 2 or 3, judging by highlights. I didn't watch the match, but I watched highlights.
Oh well, I'll tell you, expected goals of 1.31 in that game. It's not nothing.
I think that's reflective of what I saw in highlights. He had 2 or 3 one-on-ones, which he could quite easily convert. So you got to say it's promising he's getting in the areas at least, unlike Solanke. So hopefully there'll be some returns coming. But it's been tough when in that bracket. You've got Cunha didn't score this week for Wolves. It was the Norwegian guy, wasn't it? But the Wolves strikers are looking okay. You've got Jimenez. You've got
We've got a whole session on this.
Yeah,
about
there's a lot of options. So it's just Calvert-Lewin is an opportunity cost of owning it. But I've never nailed it with him. I've always had him in for these runs. And I don't know whether he's just not a very good player, right? Because he had that hot streak when Ancelotti was randomly the manager of Everton, 2 years ago. But I mean, every time I've had him, it's been painful. And I've always had him for a long time where it's such nice fixtures. I can't get rid of him viably. I've never managed to hit him, kind of get him kind of right. So yeah, that was frustrating. And then Haaland and Man City is quite worrying, right? Because the last 3 games have been against teams that you can extend it to Arsenal if you want to talk about game week 5, was it? They played Arsenal, but like ignore that one. But like the last 3 games being against defensively weak teams, right? They've been bad. Like they're like a good team. You'd want to be talking about underlying stats. What expected goals of 2, like 1.92, like or above. They've been pretty shocking. They've been pretty shocking, like recently. So like, and Haaland has been like not involved at all. But Man City generally have been really poor. So I don't know whether there's any value in that theory that they're just not that great if Rodri and De Bruyne and both of them are out. Maybe. So
Well,
yeah,
little
disappointing.
underlying stuff for Haaland as a
There's nothing.
we
When I
captained
bet.
him.
Yeah.
Well, expected goal involvement this week 0.02, which is well by far the lowest this season. I dare say probably the lowest he's ever had at City.
No, I'm not jumping to conclusions, right? But
No.
like, obviously their best player is out for the whole season. De Bruyne will be in and out. You'd think, given his fitness, and they're not clicking. So yeah, we got like Southampton a few games to consider. But I think yeah, don't want to jump. Obviously, Salah got a penalty. If he doesn't, it's a different story. But like that idea of in a couple of weeks having a really stacked midfield that some people started with at the beginning of the year, particularly game week 11, 12, where there's a swing against City and goes in the favour of other teams. Like you could have a Palmer, Saka, Salah midfield kind of viably. So I'm like opening my kind of like open my minds towards that option. But yeah, not obviously. We'll see if like Wood scores. We'll see if Eze scores. We'll see if Aina of course could get a haul. But like it seems like a slightly above average game week for me. So like I'll be on a small green arrow come the end of it. So I'll take that given like I brought in a player who was benched.
Yeah.
I didn't have a leak either as well, because that's the controversy in there.
Well, there was going to be a question. So Kyrie Irving, one of our long-time listeners, was asking, why did Matt do his transfer so late? And I was like, FPL Andy's told you, or Ben Crellin's told you at 10:57 that Saka's getting dropped.
I don't think either any of them like me. I don't know if the feeling's mutual, but well, we got the receipts when I was considering that move. I think I was fooled by a fake post, right? I was waiting. As you do, I was on the toilet and just like, 10 minutes
place to do FPL.
10 minutes before deadline, and I swear I saw like a post from an Arsenal looking journal, but I think it was one of these like fake accounts when someone like just like takes their thing that will say Saka not in the squad, but that was like public info, and I think I was just thinking of the doubts around Saka. He wasn't pictured, was he, the night before? And Son was fit. Fixtures for Arsenal don't look good. So yeah, I was just waiting for any concrete news, really. Like as you do, right? I think whenever like you've got like got a move in mind and you're like it's based on injury rumors or kind of news, you kind of do leave to the last minute. So I know Man City they were playing like in the afternoon or evening, so I was waiting. Sometimes we get leaks to that, so we're just waiting for any rumors or validations of it's Saka starting or not. Now it's just like I'm not going to see anything to like confirm or deny it. So yeah, just made it last minute, but quite a lot of people did, didn't they? Which was quite funny.
Yeah. Quite a few went mainly to Son.
Yeah.
So it worked out very well.
Well, not average move. There's been some tasty bench points, right? People could be getting Mikalenko off the bench.
Well, don't he's second on my bench, unfortunately. I'm getting Semenyo. Which, you know what, considering that was 2-0 Bournemouth, I'm a bit disappointed that he didn't come out with any returns.
He had chances as well. I actually did watch that one live, and like there's a few chances where he was just in the box and just like smashed it over, but he was in some good areas, to be fair.
So that was disappointing. Before I jump on to my team, Aina hat-trick in the chat from John Stewart. I completely agree. And I'd be interested, Thomas, if you're still with us, mate. Thomas has been without Haaland throughout, and the last 3 game weeks, his rank was absolutely flying. Where are you at now, Thomas? Because obviously did you captain somebody in the first game? It might have been Solanke, so that didn't really work in the end. But have you got another green? Let us know. Let us know in the chat. Yeah, my transfer was Diaz to Madison. I was waiting on Saka news, same as you. I didn't get anything concrete, and I just remember last season there was three times where it was, oh, Saka might be out, Saka might be out, and then he played and he scored. So it's like, until I hear otherwise, I'm just gonna go with leave him in the squad. I mean, Lee Carsley also basically said last Sunday there was a chance Saka could have played for England, but he decided it was unfair on the player. So I'm like, the guy's had 6 days to recover from that, and he could have played for England, but clearly wasn't fit. I would have bought, if I had sold Saka instead of Diaz, I'd have bought in Madison still. I wouldn't have went for Son.
Yeah, you were
I would
sitting on him, weren't you? Yeah.
I was set. I was set on him. So I'd have ended up getting, yeah, Diaz playing instead of Semenyo, in like, because of the way that the transfer, the substitute's going to work. So by selling Diaz, I'm a point better off than selling Saka in a weird way. But I'm up on the transfer. Diaz ended up on the bench, got 1 point off it. Madison got 3, but still pretty disappointing. He got an assist, and I'll be honest, it was a pretty lucky assist. It was a very good shot from Kulusevski to find the back of the net. He just happened to be one of those ones where he just gives him the ball, and Kulusevski does all the work. And I think I text you straight off the bat. As soon as I saw the lineup for Spurs, now that Richarlison and Son's back, I was like, Madison's going to be playing deep. Kulusevski's going to be the number 10. So that was pretty disappointing to see. And then he got subbed at half time just to cement my frustration. So yeah, I wasn't not particularly happy, but I'm not going to rush to sell him. I'll see how he gets on. I didn't bring him in for one game.
I noticed that normally, like after the first game, you're like messaging and saying, "Oh, what time and date are we going to do this? Like this here next week." I think you're probably considering that at the time, just like cancelling, just deleting this.
I was feeling so sorry for myself. So sorry for myself. I had that. I had Calvert-Lewin missing goals left, right, and centre. I had a red card for Arsenal. Not that I had the player, but that meant basically Havertz wasn't going to do anything because they were just on the back foot the entire time. Edison, I mean, he's going soon. I need to give him a couple of game weeks. I'm not going to sell him ahead of the Southampton game, but he's been conceding, and City haven't even been unlucky. You know, I've had him in for 3 game weeks. City's expected goals conceded in those 3 game weeks is 5.12. So it's not like he's just conceded scrappy.
He's not been of Edison of like a couple of seasons ago where it's like 1 shot conceded, 1 goal conceded. Right? They've just been poor. I would say the move though, with you still having Saka in your team, it does open really interesting because you got 2 free transfers, right? So I don't have this luxury. You've got the luxury, and a lot of people who've got Saka, where it could work out net better than my move or Son. Is that obviously I think Saka hasn't traded subsequently, right? And now it has like really bad fixtures, so it's almost like a no regrets move to a Palmer type player before Newcastle home, right? Which is not Newcastle. Is it Newcastle away? Anyway, Newcastle don't look great, right? So it's not like you bring in Palmer for Liverpool. You're bringing in potentially for Newcastle, and obviously he's a little bit more expensive than Saka, but he's kind of you can easily get to him with you can get Saka, Palmer, Havertz to Wood, or Havertz to Cunha, or you could do Trent to anyone, Gabriel to anyone. So it opens that really interesting avenue where people have got Son. That's not going to be an option. So I think you could well see him giving it as Palmer. You could see him getting 16 plus points quite easily against a team like Newcastle, which is a bit worrying.
I hope so.
I would try and give it positive spin. I know you're feeling a bit down.
I am, and I'll come on to my moves a bit later on. I've got plans, but when Aina gets a hat trick, I'll be made up with the week. So it's not too bad. John Stewart's messaged. He's got 21 points sat on his bench, and his first 11 are currently on for 23.
So Michael Keane
was on your bench, John.
It's got to be Michael Keane there.
Yeah, is it Michael Keane? He's got a couple of Everton players in, I believe. But we'll move on to the league standing. But if you are in the chat, feel free to throw in your questions.
I
else do you get to ask the former world number one some questions? Throw them in.
hate that title as well, given how big a disclaimer and small print you've got.
It's not clickbait. You were the former world number one. There's no question about it. No question about it.
It's not very obscure
we've got to use
definition.
I'll keep it. But yeah, here's the league, just so we know where we're all at. John Stewart, who's in the chat, is third to bottom, so we're both beating him at least, but we're nowhere near the top 10, Matt. So Jacob has taken himself back to the top. JM91, game week point of 48, 548 in total. So well done to Jacob. Arwen, who is in the chat, Arwen, I believe, he said hello before, is second in our league. Well done, Arwen. 54 for your game week, not far off the
so
top.
far, isn't it?
Really good season. Now, just to put that into context, Jacob's 9,223rd in the world. I think me and you were about 80 points off him. In our division, there's 72 people in this league. I'm 44th, you're 42nd. But some points do need to get taken off. So I'll just to get that in there, I might be slightly ahead of you.
Were you one of these people emailing official FPL,
all over
messaging
it.
them,
all over it.
them?
Oh, this is
disgusting.
This is pathetic. This is pathetic. But yeah, it's out of interest, Arwen, if you're still in the chat. Is this a really good season for you, or how are you feeling about it? I suppose it'd be good to hear from you. But yeah, we've got ground to work up on this one, Matt. But if anybody that's listening that wants to join the league and you're not in it yet, the code to join is T27ZGC. That's Tango 27 Zulu Golf Charlie. No matter how many times I say that, I still have to read it.
Yeah, it's a code, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. Arwen has messaged, so he is still with us. He's second, and he's thanking his no Haaland team.
Yeah,
but he's panicked because he's obviously got Southampton next.
I'm looking at the team. It's a nice team, to be fair. Like,
is there a Salah in there?
There's a Salah. There's a Watkins who's done very well, and he low key but very well.
Yeah.
Foden captaincy this week. Did have Salah, but went Foden captaincy to cover. But
the assist off the bench and more than Haaland got.
It's kind of really interesting looking at these teams. Like it's obviously obvious saying that you can spread money about, but the midfielders just look stacked. Palmer's in there as well, so
working. Hey, keep it up, Arwen. Keep it up. If you win, we have to get you something. We haven't figured out what yet, but we will. The winner will get something. I don't know. We'll work that out closer to the end of the season when maybe one of me and you could get up there. Before we jump into the fixture ticker, a question's come in from anonymous name. So whoever that is, I hope it's not a dodgy question because I haven't pre-read it. The fact that they're hiding their name. How are you planning for the mystery chip this year? Do you have your eyes on a game week to use triple captain in a single game week? And is game week? There's 3 questions here. I'll read them one at a time. I'm assuming you can't plan for the mystery chip because you don't know what it is.
Of course. I'll wait for it to be announced. Yeah.
Wait until January. We'll see. We'll take it from there.
There'll be smarter people than us who will tell us what to do with it or give some logic. But we respect. I don't know what it was. I think you had a few good shots earlier in the year what it could be, but
we've had a bit of a guess. I think your best player, your player with the most points gets your captaincy armband. I wouldn't mind that one.
In a lot of fantasy games that's a thing, isn't it? Like I think the F1 that has an autopilot, which is exactly the same as that. I think a few American football ones. Some of the guys that used to work in your place were big the DraftKings guys. I think they've got something like along those lines. It'd be nice if there'd be a reset one. That'd be quite cool if you like used a chip and you've done some transfers, you could reset. I don't know, but you can't plan for it, so why worry?
Well, do you have your eyes set on a game week to use the triple captain in a single game week this season, or you just wait for the doubles?
I mean, this would be as if you were targeting one a couple of weeks ago, it would probably be this week, game week 9 for Man City home to Southampton. I don't think you can do it now based on their form. They're not showing anything. So I'll kind of sit tight and see how things progress. I think I've never been afraid to use it early, right? I'd never been for one to kind of just hold it until right at the end of the season, right? But so if there's an opportunity that comes up, I'll use it. But I feel like I'll probably align it to a double game week again. There's gonna, I know there's predictions that there'll be less double game weeks, but I don't think that's been substantiated, right? That's just a guess. That's just someone's informal guess. And there's always like random things that happen, right? Where there's like one or two one-off games that have to be rearranged for whatever reason. So yeah, I'll probably use it there. Otherwise, it'll be like a Salah or Haaland at home to a easy team. I think actually one of my best double game week scores was a single game week. It was Salah home to Huddersfield like a few years ago. I think he got like 16 points or something like that. So
not afraid to do it. And then I'm assuming Anonymous Name doesn't have Haaland because his question is game week 9 for Haaland. So if you didn't have him this game week, would you prioritize him?
I think so. I think if you can get, if it doesn't ruin your structure.
Yeah.
There
you go. Well, the next comment is from my brother, and he said he thinks Rimmer should sue us. Well, he's not going to, and it's too late. We've used it already. But we've brought up the fixture ticker. We've split it into two. We've spoke about this for a couple of game weeks where the fixture swings in game week 12. So on the left, we've got game week 9 to game week 11. And then on the right, we've got game week 12 to game week 16. And what's very interesting is the top 5 teams in the next 3 game weeks, none of them appear in the top 10 for fixtures from game week 12. So it is a real swing.
Yeah, and I think just of interest is the teams, right, that come up. So it's like game week 12 onwards. It's like, it's the teams. It's decent teams, but have got the next 3 game weeks. Who's got shit fixtures? Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea. Like they're pretty bottom of the ticker, right, for the next 3, and they're all teams with viable assets, like throughout the whole team, right. And then they've got really nice runs, like game week 12 onwards, and then some of the. Yeah, Spurs, and if you have like the Dosser, like these in your team, like there's a nice kind of exit point. So I think people with their wild card in hand, game week 12 is a really nice moment to play it. I'm certainly looking at it with envy. So I think part of my tactics now, given that I kind of quite randomly spent 3 transfers in a good way. The 3 transfers I did, right? Lewis, maybe rotation risk, but he's played pretty much every game. Like Son and Foden, they're all on game weeks 9 to 11, like some of the best fixtures. So hey, hopefully that'll work out. But like I think my plan now is to go into game week 12 with as many free transfers as possible to make the most of it. I think it's quite a significant swing for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I'm trying to save mine up. I'm on 2, but I do want to be on at least 3 by the time game week 12
exactly.
comes around.
I think I can get to 4. So I'm going to try and prioritize that. I think I can make more impactful moves. Coinciding with this.
Get it
for sure.
Well, before we move on to striker options, and that's a section selfishly for me, as I might sell Havertz. My brother's thrown in a question. So this is Stephen says, early prediction for either of you. Do you think you will finish in the top 10K this season? I can go first. No, I've never finished inside the top 40,000. So I will take anything within the top 40,000. I'm fairly confident I'll get into the top 100,000. I'll definitely have a stronger second half of the season. But yeah, top 10, I will say no. But it'd be interesting to know from you, Matt. Like, you finished in the top 10K 6 times in your 9 seasons. Have you ever been? What are you at the minute? About 1.6 million at the 8 game weeks in.
I think so. Well, obviously last year I was 1.6 million up until about game week 30, right? But that was just a shocker where it was like some bad moves, but had a lot of bad luck involved in it as well. I don't know. It's not a fast start. I think where it's a little bit different from previous seasons, where like I would have been in the millions and then get that kind of nice run it's a cliche, but I think people are a lot more knowledgeable now, like in terms of FPL, right? And before you just had to play it sensible, right? And then like that's enough for a gain, right? Play set piece players who play 90 minutes, blah, 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 good fixtures rather than like your favorite players, right? Then that would be enough to get it. It does feel like a lot more competitive now. And like a lot of the moves, like this is why I kind of don't put too much precedent on like the algorithms and models and whatnot. I feel like a lot of the suggestions are kind of obvious, but I think it does help people play sensibly. So it's not a great start. I think if I look some leagues I'm in where there's other players who've consistently done really well, I'm kind of like in the middle of those guys. So that's kind of nice that I'm not kind of like losing ground. But the players who've been good historically, who've had good starts, they've just had ridiculous luck as well. So I think more now so than previously, you've got to have a lot of good fortune to do well.
Yeah.
Like that Son assist would have been like an example of great fortune. So I don't know, 50-50. So not feeling massively confident about it.
There or thereabouts is what you're telling me. Be there or thereabouts. Give it a go.
I don't know. I think I already feel like it's going to be pretty tough.
Okay. Well, for the sake of this podcast, we're both going to finish in the top 10K.
We rebranded it, right? That's why we rebranded it.
Exactly. That's why we just in case. Yeah, this section's a little bit selfish for me, but we spent some time looking over the last couple of weeks at midfield options. So this week we're going to look number one at strikers, and that's because I am likely going to sell Havertz this week. So it'd be good to know your thoughts on a couple of options here. And then after this screen, we're going to look at defenders because I imagine there's a lot of Saliba owners around, and it's how do you solve a problem like Saliba? So looking at the striker options, I want to look at selling Havertz. It could end up being Saka. I'm thinking I'll keep Saka for penalties potentially. But Arsenal have Liverpool at home, Newcastle away, Chelsea away, and then Forest at home. And Forest are proving this season that they are very good defensively. So I can sell him for about 8.2 million. I'm then looking at four potential options here. Okay, you've had a couple of seconds to have a look at them. I'll be honest, Højlund is a real wild card who I'm probably not going to go for. But the other three are all interesting to me. And I'll be honest, the one that I'm looking at is Wissa.
Yeah,
and I'll come on to why. But what are you thinking? What's your gut saying on these four?
First, again, like the graphics, like week on week, again. We could base it. I think we could rank the plays based on like how dynamic the pitches are. I mean, like Højlund's looking a bit static there, isn't he?
Because he's that's why I picked that picture.
He's ball watching. I think I think Vissa maybe for me just did he get minutes this weekend?
I did. 24. Came on for 24 minutes.
So you'd think against Ipswich at home, it might be a little bit too early for a start, maybe, right? He's been out for what? 2 months?
5 game weeks? Yeah.
Plus
2 international breaks.
Yeah. So he's an important player as well. So I think it might be a little bit premature. I mean, those fixtures look nice, don't they? So I think that's the benefit. I like. Depends what else you're going to do with the moves, right? Because
I
think Solanke is probably the best bet, despite him playing as like a deep line playmaker this last game week. But Jimenez has been really good on all accounts, right? He's taken the penalty. Andreas has taken the penalty and missed it. Muniz has been rubbish. So like I guess like we started the season with confidence that Muniz Jimenez is never coming back and Muniz will just be there all the time. But you think Jimenez, he's earned that position for a while now. So I do like him short term, and obviously that price point enables you to do lots of other fun things. So I think on these players, like if I'm looking at value for money, I'd be saying, look at his expected points. That's crazy. That's insane. Like Jimenez, I'd be ranking, but two players, mate. Just I'll come back to that point in a second. That are not on here, which I like. Cunha, right? Wolves are having a nice little run, now, and then Wood.
Yeah, Wood's on the next
page. I'm convinced now. Like kind of like yeah, obviously we've had two opportunities to go with him. When we both went Calvert-Lewin, we both went Muniz as well, and like I wasn't convinced, but Forest are a good team now, and he's consistently still getting great chances. And I think, despite my reservations on their play, I think from an FPL point of view, he's like really good on penalties as well, which is now new info like that we didn't know before. So just works with it. They've got good wingers, haven't they? Bit of creativity, just a good team, and then like Wood was somehow just like made sure that number 9 is him, and he's the main man, which is weird saying it because I just don't think he's a very good player. But yeah, I'm converted.
His expected points, so you can see the expected points at the bottom of these tables for the next 3 game weeks. Woods is 14, which is more than the 4 players on the screen.
Not surprised. They got mixed fixtures, and rather than great fixtures. But
yeah, they've got Leicester away, West Ham, and Newcastle at home in the next 3.
That's nice. that's really nice, actually.
Not bad. They then have Arsenal away after that in their 4th game. But yeah, Jimenez, that expected points per 90. I've made sure the players that I've included here have played at least 350 minutes. But Raul, blast from the past for Real Madrid. Jimenez is the top performing striker for expected points. He is then 3rd for actual points per 90, behind Haaland and Wissa is in 2nd place on that list.
No.
So he's having a great season. He's only 7.6% owned.
Yeah, I think I'm convincing myself that like short term and with the price points, Jimenez or probably more Wood, but yeah, kind of those guys, those are the ones to be looking at. Solanke, yeah, it's just a bit worrying like the last 2 weeks how deep he's been.
Yeah, Solanke.
He was
underperforming.
Yeah,
go on, sorry.
No, I was going to say the first couple of game weeks when he came back for injury, he was looking very good. Got a few returns from assists and stuff like that, but he was looking very good from a positioning underline. But he's playing a lot deeper and a lot less involved now. And of course, he costs 2 million more, really. So, and if you're talking about releasing money to change Saka to a Palmer, I think Jimenez and Wood give that real nice option. I would say, look, Havertz is fine in his own right, so you don't have to remove him. I do think it's a bit of a luxury transfer.
Yeah.
Don't have to move it. I think in part of a bigger move and whatnot, and how you want to strategically structure a team, yeah, cool. But in its own right, I think I'd be cool holding him.
Saka, yeah. Or Havertz, did you say?
Havertz, yeah.
Havertz. Well, I'm looking at. I feel like you put me off Wissa, but on Solanke's point, he's played 213. He's played 213 more minutes, Solanke, than Wissa, and he's only expected to have 2.04 more points than him. In terms of the full strikers, again, all that have played 350 minutes or more. Expected FPL points per 90 minutes. Solanke is 13th in the division for strikers. But when considering he's playing for such an attacking side in Tottenham, that sounds poor to me. 6 starts, 3 returns.
I think one thing to counter it, is per 90 stats, yeah, the expected goal involvement of 0.7. That's elite. So that's kind of like
still 13th. There's 12 higher.
Yeah, but it's small sample size and everything, and it depends on random games that you play, right? So players who've played teams with a red card, and there's been this random, do you know what I mean? Gung ho back end to end games to the end of a match, they'll obviously get biased towards that. So he's been doing perfectly fine. It's just the last 2 game weeks have been a bit concerning how deep he's been. But before that, he was doing fine, and the underlines are elite. Appreciate, other players have got it, but it's more of the game you're playing here is predicting it. What's happened before doesn't really matter too much. But I think I was looking at it now. I think Jimenez and Wood I'd be eyeing up based on their fixtures and price point.
Yeah, they've got others in consideration. Wood's on there. expected points 14, and not bad fixtures at all that we just ran through. Welbeck's on there. He's got 5 goals this season, but his next 3 are Wolves, then Liverpool and Man City. So probably staying away from him. And then I've got Jackson as a consideration. 11.8 expected points. His next 3: Newcastle at home, Man United away, Arsenal home. So again, fixtures probably put me off. So we're looking at Wood, Jimenez. I'm still tempted by Wisser. We'll see. We'll see what the pressers say on Friday.
I get it. I get
See
it.
where
Yeah,
we're
I
at.
think that's you. I think that's you. You got fight. You've got. I don't mean Cunha's there, but like you could extend it to Cunha as well. So yeah, Solanke, Visser, Jimenez, Wood, and maybe Cunha. Like that's your shortlist, and it kind of really depends what you want to do with the rest of your team structurally. But Havertz is perfectly fine, right? So it's like you don't have to
push into it.
Sell him.
We'll talk about selling one Arsenal player to selling another. How do you solve a problem like Saliba? You've already solved it. You sold him a week earlier, and he got sent off. So happy days for yourself. But anybody that does still have him, I put up the big players: Gvardiol, Trent, Pedro Porro, and then I always like a little Man United wildcard. So Dallow's in there because his stats have been very impressive, and I will touch on them. But if you still had Saliba, who would you be looking at?
Yeah, like for like, if it like, ignore him, the option of getting a really cheap defender, which is always quite nice, right, structurally. But if you're going for like, it was Gvardiol, Porro.
And can I just point out as well, Dallo is not 6.9 million. That's one money thing I forgot to change. The rest of them are right. He's 5 million or 5.1.
Yeah, I think maybe Porro actually, and I think all the algorithms and models would go for Porro just because minute certainty over Gvardiol, although he's probably City's best defender at the moment, right? So I think we'll probably play every game. I think the good thing about Porro, Spurs haven't like underlying stats. They've been okay defensively. Like they've been unlucky to concede the amount of goals that they've been conceding, right? So I think I'm not gonna. Like last season, their underlying stats were crap as well. This season has not been too bad, right, defensively. So I don't want to listen to that narrative that they're just like going to concede goals all the time. I think if they're showing up and not conceding as many chances, then they should be better. So I kind of like. I think the stats are okay from an underlying point of view. And then if Maddison continues to get benched, Porro then goes on set pieces. So when Maddison is not playing, his opportunities they just kind of increase through the roof, right? Obviously. You've got to make a call of whether Maddison's going to start all the time and get regular minutes and whatnot. But yeah, I like Porro. So I'd potentially say Porro and then Gvardiol. He's not going to score screamers every week, right? Because last year he was because he was playing as the left winger, right? Now he's just playing as a centre back. So he's not that player from back in the last season. I kind of wish I had him, of course, over Lewis, but it was more of a price point thing. I prefer Gvardiol and Eze over Foden and Lewis in hindsight, but I know it was a bit risky. So yeah, I'd say I like Porro. I like Porro and then Gvardiol, and then obviously the cheaper options. They're all the like standard ones we've spoken about. What's his name? Nori could be an interesting one. Like with some nice lots of chances created, very attacking. Wolves, as they proved in the weekend, they're not a bad team. They just had a really bad run of fixtures, right? So I think he could be someone if you want a cheaper player to get ahead of the curve on. Yeah, 8 Nori is pretty nice.
4.6, I think, 8 Nori. Might be 4.5 still.
Yeah.
But on Gvardiol and City, and I know this because I've got Edison the Pain. City's expected clean sheets the 6th to expected clean sheets. Liverpool are first. You're talking about Porro. Spurs are second, and that did surprise me. That's an absolutely solid underlying numbers. So yeah, I can see why you'd go there. Dallo, I said I'd touch on Dallo. He is third amongst all defenders for expected points this season. He's
really?
also and his expected clean sheets, as you'll see from the fourth line down on these tables, matches Gvardiol. He's only behind for expected. He has had 4 clean sheets himself. So United are going under radar with their defense a little bit. which is only one behind what Trent and VVD, Virgil van Dijk, have got, and they're top of the list. So
Yeah.
Dalot is under the radar, but West Ham away, Chelsea at home, maybe not the best two coming up, but then not bad after that. Leicester and Ipswich.
Yeah, for sure. Well, West Ham is we need to reassess it. That's an easy fixture. That is the only
Sorry
difficult
to
one
all the
is
West Ham
Chelsea.
fans.
No, there's the kind of nature of kind of where they're at the moment. Yeah, I reckon I'd be going Porro, I think.
Yeah, I can see it. I don't have Saliba to deal with, but yeah, I can see why Perez picked. Any other ones are noted based on the fixtures. Fulham, they've got coming up to they're top of the fixture list alongside Everton and Forest. So from those three squads, you're looking at Robinson is the top performer for Fulham defensively. You've then got Tarkowski is the top performer for Everton. That doesn't
Yeah.
inspire me. Robinson at least gets some assists. And
Yeah.
then the top performer for Forest is Aina, who I've had since week 1. Hopefully he's still keeping a clean sheet. But we'll see. We'll touch on captaincy. Now, before I dive into the captaincy, Tom's back with us. Tom has unfortunately had Thomas. Why do I keep calling you Tom? Thomas is back with us. He unfortunately a red arrow this week, despite the no Haaland. Currently ranked 500,000, still a lot better than me and Matt Thomas. And he's going to look at his captaincy pick this week, and he's thinking of Mbeumo, who is on my list here, Thomas. So we'll touch on him, or Palmer, who is also on my list. And FPL Big Ed says, good to see Matt in action. I'm going to try something to see if this works. Are you ready? Hey, it does. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, hello. There you go. That's a new thing. Cheers, FPL Big Ed, for teaching
How do
me
you do
something
that? You're the only person with the rights to do that.
To anyone that can do them. But
I was gonna get your brother's comments and highlight them.
Got a question for you though. I've got a question for you from N Brown. I'm going to bring it up so you can read it. So, unsure if a -4 to swap Salah for Haaland is needed this week. After Saka and Salah captaincy, I feel like I need to do it. What would you say?
Depends who you got. I think you can obviously work out the maths on the screen there, right? So it's I'd say no, because I think -4s just feel worse and dirtier this year, right? Given the ability to kind of roll and hold transfers, because you get that added benefit down the line. So I think hits are even more necessary. And like if you have Palmer and Mbeumo, if you do the maths, obviously I'm guessing that's the fix expected points. Yeah, obviously Haaland times 2 is 20.2. Palmer times 2 is what we got. It's going to be close. It's going to be close, but there's enough margin that if you got good, acceptable other captaincy option, I think you can run with an Mbeumo or Palmer. Based on actually the maths there, they'd say the -4 would be worth it, but that's not taking into account like value of saving transfers down the line and kind of whatnot. Presuming if you're doing a -4 to get Haaland, then you're using up other free transfers as well.
Well, to be fair to N Brown, his next comment is, and I will bring it up, and Bruin is the man otherwise. So yeah, I think he very much is on that trail of thought. And if
maths there would be, and like the good thing with Mbeumo is like when he's not scoring like this week, you're really surprised, right? So that kind of does say something about the guy. But yeah, obviously these expected points there plus times 2 is 12.2. Add the 4, that's 18.2. What's the gap there to Haaland? 2 points.
Yeah.
2 points if like he was captain. So it feels tight when you add that -4 in.
I get that. Well, the other one that Thomas was considering, and I'm just going to bring it up because I've figured out how to do it, was Palmer. Now you don't. I will appreciate we don't have the luxury of having Palmer. Who would you go if you're picking out the two, Palmer or Mbeumo? Who are you going for? A captain, Palmer.
I think there's no doubt now. Like obviously, he's the best player at this moment in in the league. I think he was actually unlucky not to get a return against a very good Liverpool side. There was a few chances on the edge of the box, right? So we're just finding these positions. So if you look at his record, especially at home, it's been like incredible, right? So yeah, I wouldn't have any issues captain in Palmer.
Now, if anybody else has any other questions and you want to see your name on the screen, fire them in. And we'll just keep firing them at Matt. But now, so Haaland's top of the list. Won't beat about the bush, mate. He's top for expected. Oh, where's Matt gone? He needs to dial back in. I'll talk through this part because let's be honest, if you've got Haaland, you should probably captain Haaland. He's back. He's back. Is our Matt. I'm just saying, if you've got Haaland, he's top for expected points. He's also playing statistically the second worst defense in the division. Ipswich are the worst. Southampton not much better. Expected goals conceded per 90 of 2.26, and they are going to the Etihad. So, despite the 3 blanks that he's just had, Matt, are you looking anywhere else?
Yeah, he's the kind of no brainer. I think the question the guys were asking around is it worth a -4 is a little bit more valid, right? But if you've got him, you're captaining him, right? Surely. What was the week where people triple captained him? Who was he playing? It wasn't Ipswich. Was it Ipswich?
I think it was Ipswich, and then he got a hat trick, and then he got a hat trick against West Ham, or did he get 2 against West Ham?
I wonder what the predicted points was going into that match. Maybe it's higher. This might actually be higher.
Yeah. It could. We'll have to. If somebody knows that answer, please put it in the chat.
10 expected points is pretty insane, really, for a single week, because that's implying
basically you're scoring twice.
Yeah, it's implying kind of more than one goal involvement, which is pretty mad, right?
I think there'll be no surprise to hear, Matt.
I just can't triple captain him though, just based on the last 3 weeks.
Yeah. Well, we've got M Brown's come in. Palace are knocking on the door. Don't tell me that. I don't want to hear the clean sheets going for Aina, but bring it up. Very nice of it. So nice little shout out. Still in abundant FPL shows, and we are the go-to. Thank you for that, Imran. Really appreciate that as a comment. But he says he thinks this is Haaland's largest expected points of the season. So yeah, I think you're right, Matt. Probably bigger than the one where he got the hat trick. But moving on from captaincies to Matt versus Dave, and considering what I thought was going to be a pretty high scoring game week for us both, Delap on form. Rashford with not a bad fixture. Martinelli on form. Adama Traore was expected points from a midfielder, the third highest in the division. 8-3 was the final score, thanks to Rashford's assist.
It's tough though, and it is getting every week we're looking at players that you naturally wouldn't think and assume they'd be under 5% ownership, but so many players that are just over that threshold. If any player does anything, they're automatically above that threshold. It's pretty mad. So it's a pretty tight ownership level to find anything decent in most weeks. Rashford was good though, right? Which
I didn't see as underlying. Was it?
I didn't check that, but based on highlights anyway, which obviously can be biased by him getting assists. But I think based on highlights, he looked pretty good. Martinelli, I just knew not to go there. Obviously, I got the information at the Arsenal clean sheet team sheet, didn't I? So
of course you did. Of course you did. You need to dodge it. Worked out nicely for you. Well, I get to go first, so it is 4-3 to you, but I get to go first in game week 9. And I know you're trying to put me off buying the guy, but there's a player back from injury. He's owned by 2% of the game, and he's a home to Ipswich, and his expected points when he's on the pitch is absolutely phenomenal. In fact, he's second for expected points behind Jimenez in per 90. So yeah, I'm going Wissa, 2% owned.
Does that mean that if you bring him in, it's ineligible? How does that work?
Well, I don't have him yet, so I can take him as a differential.
Fair enough.
I think we did that last season. I'm sure we did. If you don't have him now, you can pick him.
Henderson's going to get a haul in this match, isn't he? As well. I'm just like looking at shots, just the text commentary, just shots directly at him.
How many has Aina took? I want to see those shots on target points for bonus.
Talking about highly owned keepers, I'm sure there's people here that have got Raya, but I can't believe how he didn't get a red card for the penalty that Arsenal conceded. Like, people talk about kind of luck and stuff like that. Oh, luck, like if you had a Son assist, you're lucky. Obviously, that's been thing, but like Raya, I mean, he's like 35% owned. That was crazy that he didn't get red carded for that. Just literally, I think it was it might have been Jack. I can't. No, who was it? It was yeah. I think it was like Evan Nelson going just like.
You think they
really wiped him out? It was obviously a game state, wasn't it? They've already given a wet red card, so you can't give two. But that was pretty crazy. Anyway,
did he get from the look? He didn't get booked either. Then from the looks of it, because he didn't get a yellow. So
no, that's shocking. I'll do a bit. I'll talk about my differential. I'll try and see if you can find a clip of it. Like, you'll just be laughing.
Okay.
So yeah, it was a real kind of struggle for me to get someone underneath 5% ownership this year. I was looking at players that I thought would just be not owned at all. I was thinking Jimenez would be the first one, but I think he's up to 8%. Then I was looking at some of the Brighton assets, Matoma. I think he was like 10% owned. So as we were saying, this 5% threshold is tough. But I'm going to go for Ruta for Brighton. So João Pedro's still out. He's been playing the 10. I think he's scored, or at least got attacking returns the last 2 game weeks. I'm just going to have a look at the FPL app now. So he's down as Jorginho. But yeah, it's kind of Ruta. He's had, he got an assist last game against Newcastle, and against Spurs, he's scored and assisted. So not great underlying stats, but yeah, and he scored against Chelsea in the previous week. So yeah, kind of 4 attacking returns in 3. I think the Brighton at home to Wolves could be quite an open game. So yeah, I'm quite happy to go there with Pedro still being out.
Nice. I've just seen it. And he does take him out. I think the thing that saves him is there's a defender behind him when it happens. So he's not completely through. I'm just that's what I think saves him. Yeah, I think he gets saved. He gets saved. But yeah, Rutter for yourself. I've picked my second. I'm not overly happy with it, if I'm honest. My mate Matt keeps telling me I've got 2 people that are friends called Matt. I apologise. You're not the only one.
Guy.
But my other mate Matt keeps talking. He's a Tottenham fan, and he keeps telling me that their best player, without a shadow of a doubt, is Kulusevski. They're away at Palace. I don't rate Palace's defence. There's a reason that they're in the bottom 4 in the division. And he scored 2 and 3. Now, it doesn't fill me with any joy, but it's difficult under 5% owned. I mean, I could take a gamble on a City player like Grealish or Doku, but I'll just pick the one that's benched. At least I know Kulusevski's going to play, and he'll play 90. So yeah, that's where I'm going, and it fills me, I say, with zero joy.
Yeah, nice. No, I like that option. I like that option. At Palace defence, it is keeping out Chris Wood. Bear in mind, 60 minutes in.
True. That's true.
I wouldn't.
Although there is a penalty appeal. I think it's been waved on. Don't worry about it.
Chris Wood, he's destroying our seasons. Yeah, I was actually, you were talking about City players. I was considering some of the lower owned City defenders. Really, I imagine Diaz may be under 5% owned, but I think it's kind of boring in it, that kind of approach to this. So I'll try and keep with an attacker. So yeah, same West Ham. I think got to reassess them as a really weak team. I thought Manchester United looked pretty good against Brentford. Now Brentford are quite an open team, but as are West Ham. I'm gonna go Rashford again. So it's kind
he's
of
still under 5. He's scraping under 5% as Rashford.
Yeah,
surprises me.
I'd probably go. Obviously, you go Bruno Fernandes is the best attacker, but then I would probably favour Garnacho, but I think he was like 12% owned or something like that. I'm just going to double check on that, but yeah, I think quite happy with Rashford. He played well. I'm confident he'll start. So yeah, that's enough. Yeah, Garnacho 7.9%. Fernandez is 6.7, so he's come right down.
Yeah,
Could go Højlund, but like, will he start?
that's it.
Bit of a question mark. He's a good bet, actually, to be fair. But yeah, I'll stay with Rashford.
Rashford. He did well. He won you it last week. Got you the win. So yeah, Rutter and Rashford for you, Wissa and Kulusevski for me. Wissa's going to get at least 2 goals, so that's victory for me. We may as
I
well just
mean,
call it
it's a
4-4
right
now, mate.
fixture, isn't it? Is he going to start? That's the question. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I've got it on good authority. He's going to start. I've got it. I've just been told by Ben Crellin. Ben Crellin just gives you all the leaks.
FPL review told you.
Anyway, he might sue us, but if I keep using his name. Just so everybody's aware that's listening, we are in no way associated with Ben Crellin or any of his work. I'll move on from differentials
Oh,
onto Week 9 reveals. So away you go. This is your team. You're down to 1 free transfer. What's the plans?
yeah, first and foremost, it looks pretty good. I think actually a lot of home fixtures against newly promoted teams, like that's what you want to be seeing. So yeah, it's looking good outside of Trent and Gabriel playing each other. But yeah, my team, for those that can't see it, is Flecken in goal, Ipswich home, Lewis home to Southampton. Now, obviously, a bit of a rotation risk, but I've got enough defenders there, and you'd think he'd play, given it's a weak team that they want to be dominating possession and kind of creativity. But yeah, I'll be probably playing Trent, and then my one decision really is: do I play Van den Berg, Brentford home to Ipswich, or Gabriel? I think Van den Berg is probably slightly ahead actually when I'm thinking about it now. Although it's what pushed me off is just Gabriel obviously has that attacking threat. Arsenal very good defensively, and Brentford just been quite poor defensively this year. So yeah, that'll be the decision. I'll probably just make a decision for myself. Lewis will probably be benched, right? So happy anyway that I've got those bench options. Midfield, yeah, Sonny and Mbumo is vice captain, Rogers and Foden. Yeah, I've made my bed for Foden now, really, so I'm not going to mess around and think about moving him on. I'll kind of go in with that. Solanke against Palace away, Haaland captain, home to Southampton, and Calvert-Lewin home to Fulham, which again, I'm kind of quite happy with that. Like Everton are, unsurprisingly, because fixtures often give form, they're looking okay, right? They're looking half decent. I think they'll give Fulham a game. So yeah, I think it's looking good. Yeah, and I'd comfortably start Rodgers home to Bournemouth versus Semenyo away to Villa. But yeah, it's looking good all round. And was Wood just scored? Yeah, Wood.
I think so. Straight in, M. Brown, boom, Chris Wood, 1-0.
I think you've got to get Wood as your striker option.
He's flying, isn't he? Absolutely flying.
You'd be
Tell me, M.
crazy
Brown, who got the assist? And if it doesn't say it, if it's not Aina, don't even put it in the chat. I don't want to know.
You've got to go. Yeah, you've got to go Wood, haven't you?
Well, come on. We'll come on to it in a second. We'll come on to
but like, yeah, what I'm mainly working towards now is I've had my fun. I've done my three transfers. Like, there's some big shifty kind of weeks coming up, game week 12 notably, right? So I want to go in that with as many transfers as possible. So it will have to be some big things and obvious things for me to divert from that strategy. But yeah, I'm kind of happy with it. Imagine like it's these marginal decisions. Imagine you started the season with Wood
instead of Muniz. Yeah, which was definitely on the cards, and even
and
on the wild card, there was a big chat.
Imagine you went in on wild card as well. Imagine you went Wood over Calvert. I think keeping Wood over Calvert-Lewin at that time was a mistake. I would say that moment. So I'm looking at fixtures.
It's worked out. It's worked out in Woods. Yeah, because I mean, one of his goals was away at Chelsea. You wouldn't have called it.
Yeah, it was just that underlying feeling that he's just not a very good player. But I think Forest are a good team now. That's what matters, isn't it? Really.
Play well.
And like,
play well.
what's that? What's their number 9? Like Iwanibi. He's just like he was on the bench today, but it's like from I really thought he was, and probably still do think he's a better player. So I thought, right, as soon as he was fit, he'd be playing.
Yeah,
man.
last season he was.
Yeah, and I think like Palace fans at the beginning of the year, obviously, like fans they take it with a pinch of salt, but would be saying, yeah, he's the better player, quicker, more powerful, more intelligent. Wood is a bit of a donkey. Right.
Donkey that can score. Huh?
No, for sure. And now he's on penalties as well, which is like why, like Gibbs White was a good penalty taker as well. It's crazy, but yeah, Muniz was a dumb decision though, because like he wasn't on penalties and he'd done nothing bar 5 game weeks last year. Like it's just a complete random player.
Yeah, it was all on the fixtures, wasn't it? With Muniz. And just a nice budget option because was he 5.5, maybe 6 million?
They were both 6, weren't they? They were both 6. Whereas like Wood was a bit more of a known entity. Anyway.
Yeah. So you're rolling on that point, or you're buying Chris Wood. Which one? You're selling Solanke.
Yeah,
selling Solanke for Wood. Fair play.
No, but you should be getting Wood. But yeah, I'll be rolling, of course. Like that team was pretty good. Then that team looks probably as good as you can get for a bust team.
Looks steady as well. This is the last chance. If you've got any questions for Matt, throw them in, and we'll make sure we read them out. Just whilst I read through what I'm likely to do. 2 free transfers for me and $500,000 in the bank. I don't feel like for these next 3 game weeks, or even 4 game weeks, in the 4th game week, Arsenal have got Forest. Next 3, they've got Liverpool, Newcastle, Chelsea. I don't really want 3 of them. I'm steady enough keeping Gabriel, and then it's just making a decision between Saka and Havertz. I was probably going to keep Saka purely because he's gone penalties, and I think he's better than Havertz when it comes to getting points from a attacking point of view because he takes corners as well. So gets quite a few assists for the Gabriel corners. So yeah, I'm still leaning towards selling Havertz. As I've said there, I rarely do like the Wissa option, but I will look at all of the choices. And this is why you're here. I see you shaking your head. This is why you're here, Matt. It is to talk me out of stupid decisions.
It's
so I don't mind you talking
stupid,
me out.
But like Wood is just there. Like you see in the chat, like people saying he's got, he could have got 2 and 3. So it's not just like he's getting lucky. He's everything you want to look in an FPL player, he's doing. So you could get lucky again, but I think everything points towards Wood. And then Saka has the next 4 game weeks are dodgy, right? Who knows if he's fit or not? Arsenal, all their best players are like suspended or out. It screams to get in Wood and Palmer, doesn't it? And like one of the moves you do want to be making in game week 12 is Palmer. So you've got him in, you've got Palmer anyway, so you're ahead of the curve. And like obviously the Liverpool fixture is the tough one. Newcastle at home is like an easy one. So they got Newcastle at home, right? Then they've got Man United away, right? Damn, I don't know. They've been attacking, good from an attacking point of view, not defensively, right? And then, Arsenal home. Yeah, fair. But like, I mean, that'd be like a bit of a no regrets.
Use both. Yeah. No, I get it. I get that. And I was looking to roll a second because I'd just like to get to 3 transfers. But even if I do both, what are we in this game week 9? So I'd have game week 10, game week 11. So I'd get to 3 anyway if I use both. Quite happy with my defence. I've got the 3 that are playing. Aina, how much I love the Forest defence. Trent and Gabriel feel fixture proof to me. But I've got Vandenberg at home to Ipswich.
Even when they're playing each other
on the bench. Yeah, because that could be. Gabriel likes to score against Liverpool. He scored against us in the last 2 seasons. There's a little tease for you. So I don't mind having him on the pitch, especially at home. Arsenal seem to shut up shop against big clubs as well. Did not keep 2 clean sheets against City last season, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely 1. So I feel like they're the sort of players I'd trust. Gabriel and Trent more than I'd trust Vandenberg or Mikolenko, is I suppose what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, you won't. Well, you won't be playing Mikolenko though, but yeah, it's Vandenberg.
No.
It's the question, but that's a tight one.
The
Like
last,
Brentford have been
the
bad.
last goal. Yeah, they have. But the rest of it's okay. Rogers on home to Bournemouth. Madison, I've got to keep him. I'm not going to sell him after one game week. Hopefully he does get the start. He's away at Palace, and then Bumo at home to Ipswich, and then the same as you, Mikolenko, not Mikolenko, Calvert-Lewin even. Hopefully he can convert some of these chances he's getting finally. Haaland is captain, and then yeah, likely Havertz will go. But yeah, Semenyo away at Villa seems like the obvious bench from that front eight.
Yep.
Has been a question thrown in from N Brown. He said that Chris Wood could have had 2 or 3, apparently. But he's asked, how long are you likely to hold Foden?
I'll get rid of him as soon as possible.
Okay.
And
as soon
as other options emerge, right? Because I think we were saying, obviously, Palmer is an option for him, but is a little bit more expensive, right? So I'm not thinking that's an obvious move, but yeah, I've got him for Southampton, which is cool. I mean, what is the city fixtures, right? So he's got Southampton, obviously keep, then Bournemouth, Brighton, Spurs, right? So obviously in my head, the target move I've got is my 2 premiums at the moment are Son and Foden. I'd be looking to move them to Saka and Palmer in game week 12, right? But Foden, I can see how I'm feeling before Bournemouth or kind of Brighton away. But I think max next 3 game weeks.
Yeah.
Move ahead that Spurs game. As we were saying, Spurs have been defensively quite good, just a little bit unlucky this year. So yeah, game week 12 would be the week I'd be moving him on, if not before. Yeah, but before then, it's like Palmer is the option. Don't really like any of the other Spurs players, and I'll be fully committed. Who else is there? Yeah, Bruno. Like the thing about Bruno. No. Honestly, like kind of like I'm a big fan of FPL and kind of real life wise on him. This weekend he was playing as a 10.
Yeah,
which makes a big.
Did he get an assist? He did, didn't he?
Yeah, he got a quality assist as well. Really good assist. Yeah. But like he was playing a lot more advanced, right? Rather than as this number 8, like Madison was on the weekend. He was playing pretty advanced. And it's probably reflected in his stats. I'm just going to bring him up on the FPL site. So he was like, no, really low expected goal involvement actually, but he was looking more attacking, 0.17. But yeah, the issue that I had with Bruno the last couple is like against Villa, 0.06, against Spurs, 0.02. So that was when he was playing really quite deep. Yeah.
I'm hoping you can be seen, Matt, because I've just had this from Thomas. Cartel have seeked out their revenge. Where's Matt gone? Now, you did disappear a minute ago, so I'm hoping this is just a delayed message, as in like 20 minutes ago.
Oh, you might be just talking to yourself.
Can see you. Yeah, but like it's weird because I'm having a conversation with you because I can see you and I can hear you. Can I, if anybody else is there, can you hear Matt? Can you see Matt? Oh, he's still there. You are still there. Maybe that was a delayed message from when your Wi-Fi went down 20 minutes ago or so. Anyway, there you go. There was another question from.
I was about to reveal the source.
Aye, and then it got cut.
But, I think you revealed the source, didn't you?
Yeah. I might have. My apologies. Would you do a -4 to go from João Pedro to Chris Wood?
No, I don't ask the question though. But like, correct if it's not. I would get João Pedro to Chris Wood, or you do like all day and whatnot.
Yeah, it is a genuine question. I'll just fire it up because I like doing it. Boom. This is part of the comment about Chris Wood. How long you holding Foden for? Just mentioned there, João Pedro to Chris Wood for a -4.
Oh yeah. Nah.
Oh. Keep the points.
Yeah, straight move. Yeah. You do that.
Can you see it? Can you see this all on the right? I didn't realize you could see it on the right. Oh, there you go. No hits. Boom.
Yeah,
I'm glad. I'm glad.
Do that.
All right, cool.
It's a long-term
Oh,
move,
cool.
really, like, because like Palace's fixtures are mixed, and they for the long term. So it's like this is just a player that you can have as a glue player for months.
Yeah.
Um,
Pedro to Wood, free. Do it or regret it, is what you're saying.
Well, I think we both had Pedro, didn't we? I think, both went Calvert-Lewin.
We have had Pedro to Calvert-Lewin. That was the move, and it was. I went to Pedro and absolutely bottled it because it was all about Danny Welbeck when we were chatting about it. I was like, it's all about Welbeck.
I think
transfer.
saying this just so you can stay true to yourself, because like the two times you bottled it this year, one was you wanted Danny Welbeck over Pedro. Welbeck's done really well since then. I think that week he scored 2 goals. The other time he bottled it was like, I don't think Haaland's the captaincy option. Saka at home to Southampton is the option. Got 13 points.
Correct.
So I think despite me and probably everyone else suggest you should go Wood, like be true yourself and go Visser. If you bottle that one,
I think he ends up back in a price. Yeah, we'll see. There's options, right? There is options. But yeah, that brings us to the end. And we are still. I'm going to jinx it. I really hope I'm not. Touch wood. We're 80 minutes into the match, and Aina is currently on a clean sheet. Touch wood. That remains for the next 10 minutes plus injury time. But we will pick up again next week, Matt. I believe.
Well, indeed.
And then we're coming up, and there's another 3 game weeks left before an international break. They come around too much, man. But that'll take us into game week 12 following the international break, which and then we're back till February, I believe. There's no more internationals.
You could fool me. I haven't looked into it.
I could have made that up. You would have had no idea.
You sounded confident.
I think so.
I thought you would.
I think so. And have a good weekend as well yourself. Well, have a good week even to you both, Thomas and then Brown. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it and firing in your questions. For anybody else that is with us still, thank you for it. Don't leave before you get to hear the theme tune one more time, because it will come back. So if you missed the beginning, you're going to get it at the end. It's a brand new theme tune written by Rimmer. Please don't sue us. And I'm quite a big fan. Of it. So hopefully you'll hear it. Kyrie, I sent it to Kyrie. Probably our longest. Him and Thomas are probably our 2 longest serving. That's a weird way of saying it. Like our longest people that have been with us since the beginning. So I sent it to Kyrie. He seemed to love it. So yeah, good news. Hopefully you do too, Thomas. I'm just chatting shit now, mate. I'll say see you later, Matt. Thanks for joining us. Hope you have a good week. And yeah, we'll catch you.
You see why I cock up when I cock up the farewells myself when like it's. We end up.
You got this to follow. You got this to follow. This perfection when I close off a pod. But I appreciate your time, mate. If we were professional, nobody would watch. Like that's it. It's not going to work. But I'll catch you next week. And for you listening, get ready for the theme tune. It's on its way. But when it comes to the weekend, may your arrows be green. Have a good week all, and we'll see you on the next one.